I'm Clark Green with the Elite Angler Academy. This is part 2 of what's in the bag or what's in the box of a video I was doing, starting off getting ready for the MLF Pro Circuit event at Lake Murray in South Carolina, and also getting ready for the Toyota Series at Sam Rayburn the following week. And I'm really looking forward to that one. Looking forward to Murray too, but really looking forward to Sam Rayburn that time of year. I'm jackpotting that event, so I'm not having to stress and worry so much about trying to get points or just catching a limit or just getting a check. Fishing for with a lesser entry fee is less stressful than a $5,000 tour event. So I'm going to be able to swing for the fences. I outlined some of the baits that I'm for sure going to have tied on in the first video from Tackle Warehouse with the big box. But right now, I'm going to kind of go over some of the specialty stuff I got for Murray, which is a herring lake, which is going to involve me throwing a bunch of swim baits probably. So I've got 3 packages right here that we're going to highlight. And again, this is the day before I'm leaving, so I've kind of stockpiled everything to do these videos right now. But the first bag I'm going to go over is from Rambo Outdoors down in Beaumont, Texas. It's owned by Corey and Elena Rambo. Corey is one of the hammers on Sam Rayburn. He's one of the hammers on Toledo Bend, East Texas. Him and his partner Rusty Clark, they won Angler of the Year for Bass Champs I don't know how many times. They've got a pretty comprehensive store down on the north side of Beaumont, close to Lumberton, and they've got a lot of stuff there and a lot of good stuff for this area. So again, it's another tackle store that's great that I'm able to go into and check things out and see a lot of new stuff where the availability is there due to a lot of his connections. But in this bag right here, let's kind of go over what's in this bag. Again, I talked about it in my first video. Craw worms. Had a co-angler whoop me out of the back of the boat at Lake Louisville in the Bassmaster Open this year. On my Tackle Warehouse order, I had gotten 2 packs of plum, but one of my go-to confidence baits at Sam Rayburn is a red bug mag 2 worm or red bug trick worm when I'm fishing brush piles, or a red bug old monster. Real close to plum. Plum's red and blue flake. Red bug is red with green flake. And again, if I only had one rod to fish brush piles with, it'd probably be a red bug mag 2 worm. But this worm, I think, is going to be a player because, again, they're not seeing it. When you're on a lake that has a ton of people fishing brush piles and you're fishing behind people all the time, you use water, fish start getting accustomed to seeing the same stuff. Come July, almost every fish related to a brush pile has seen an old monster worm. So again, this is something different, a little bit different action. I think I can swim this worm around shallow grass and catch fish, or even swim it over brush piles, to give them a different look. But again, it's a Craw worm and red bug, and the only reason I got it was a co-angler beat me out of the back of the boat. All right, I actually got 2 packs of those because, again, I'd hate to run out catching them because the availability isn't everywhere. In fact, they've been sold out, most places I've gone to and tried to order stuff from since that tournament at Louisville. And so I think I've got a pack of June bug somewhere and a pack of green pumpkin that I bought that I found. But again, these are the brush pile colors that I'm going to throw pretty frequently. So to give it an honest assessment and try, if I'm going to keep it in my arsenal as opposed to throwing another worm that's tried and true and I have confidence in, I've got it in red bug, which is one of the colors I throw. All right, so the last thing I got from Rambo Outdoors are mag graphs. This is the 6-inch version, and I got 2 of each color. I got 2 of the albino pearl shads, and I got 2 of the color they call brownie, which is kind of an olive gold back, more of a silvery pearl side. And the reason I'm buying these is you can kind of tip your hat to Chris Zaldane. They've sold a bunch of these because of him. He's kind of making a career out of throwing this. Hasn't gotten the win yet, but he's gotten close. And it's becoming one of the industry staples for swim baiting. And this one's kind of neat. It's got a magnet in the bottom of it that holds the hook in place. If you do a quick search, you can probably see some videos that Chris has done on ways that he modifies it and rigs it. I saw one the other day. But you know, this bait is an easy swim bait to throw. You don't need heavy swim bait gear. You know, small fish will eat this bait. You know, 1.5 pound, 2 pounders will eat this bait. You know, it's an easy one to fish. You can throw it on, you know, 15, 17, 20, 25 pound fluorocarbon. No need to throw it on braid. But what I really like about this bait is it skips really well, because that's one of the techniques on how I fish a swim bait. But it's great in open water. A smallmouth will choke that 6-inch swim bait as well. But again, it's another swim bait to add to my arsenal, and I will be throwing this at least in practice at Lake Murray, because post-spawn fish love a swim bait. Big fish where there's big shad like a swim bait. So I've got these two colors. One of them, this brownie one, kind of imitates the blueback herring color a little bit more. And then the pearl one is right there. So I got 4 of those. All right, so the next bag I've got is from Tackle Addict. Talked about it before. Again, big mega store, stocking back up on some things. They got some things in, so I'm gonna go over what I got here pretty quick. Keitech swim baits. Again, I don't know what the availability is. You go through a lot of these whenever you're catching them on them. And I got multiple colors. That's a 4.3 in the smallmouth magic. This is the bait I caught them on at Sturgeon Bay, big smallmouth. So I knew I was running low, especially on this color. And the reason I threw this color there was because it said on the package, smallmouth magic. So many of these shad patterns are gonna get bit, but I said, what the heck? And bought every one of them I could find up there in that area. And I'm about out, and so I'm stockpiling right now for the St. Lawrence River. Again, here's a 4.8 in sexy shad. Again, just another shad pattern. You know, here's another 4.3 in smallmouth magic. Here's one in super shad. And again, the limited availability was there, so I'm having to get what shad patterns I could get. Smallmouth magic again in the 4.8. And again, I will probably have one of these swim baits tied on at Murray as well. I've caught a ton of fish around docks with these. I put it on a jig head. I like the Revenge, you know, swim bait head. It's got kind of a shatter shape, and you can get it in different sizes, like a 1/2 ounce or a 3/8. And that's where I throw it. I can throw this around docks, run it down the side. I can burn it fast, and I catch a lot of fish on these. Big fish will eat it. I think I can burn this over points. And if those herring fish are there on points, I think you're going to be able to catch fish on this. I may rig it, you know, as a line through style. I'll do a video coming up on how to rig that. And you can find more people showing you how to rig those as a line through, so I can run a treble hook on the back. But again, that is a bait that is a kind of a staple, you know, kind of like Cincos. People are starting to call this style of swim bait, you know, any of them like that is the Keitech. No matter who makes it, that is the fat swing impact. And there's a lot of companies knocking that off now, but it is, I like the original the best because it's the softest and swims the best. Okay, again, in the bag, they had them on sale. So I picked up a couple more of these mag graphs. And again, doesn't mean I'm gonna take them out of the pack and put them in the box. They might hang on a peg hook. They're not gonna go bad. And as soon as you start needing them or wanting them, you're not gonna be able to find the things that you want. So again, stocked up on more of those, so that gives me 6 more of these to go with the 4 or 5 I already have. Same shad sort of patterns. You know, it's a bait I'm gonna have tied on. Like I said, Chris Zaldane has made that bait famous, and he's done real well, but it's a gamble, feast or famine, catches donkeys. So it's a bait that I'm gonna continue to have. All right, next is I've got 4 packs of Berkeley Max Scent Hitworms. All right, and they are all in green pumpkin, and they're 4.5. And I'm not gonna open the pack up because they stink, and you know, they've got liquid in there. But the reason I got these is the flatworm was the bait last year. People went crazy over it, went for stupid prices online. The whole max scent deal for smallmouth fishing is the deal. But finding the flatworms is getting harder and harder. But I think you can take this, you know, 4.5 hitworm and use them for drop shotting, just like you can the flatworm. I think it's gonna get bit. But what I'm looking forward to with this bait is actually if I want to make some flatworms, I can probably take it and run an X-Acto knife down the side of it and get 2 flatworms, because it has almost the same shape from front to back, and I can get 2 flatworms out of one of these worms if I need to. So I bought 4 packs of those, which cleared out the peg for them. But you know, I could also throw that on a shaky head. I could throw it on a drop shot. As it is, I can put it on a Ned head. I think it's going to catch fish. Either way, again, I can sit there and drop shot it at Rayburn when I get on a school and burn through them if I need to on a guide trip just to get rid of them. All right, so the next thing in the bag is I've got a few packs of 1 15-ounce, Z-Man Ned heads. They're lightweight. The reason I'm getting these lightweight ones is there's a good chance I'm going to be throwing a Ned worm up in really shallow rocks, like a foot, 2 foot of rock. And if you use a heavier Ned head around chunkier rock, it's going to get hung. It's going to foul up, go into a crevice. You're going to break them off a lot more. But with this one, what I've learned is you can actually get that bait hung, then slingshot your spinning rod and pop it out, and it'll shoot off the rocks, and a lot of times fish will grab it. So that's why I like using some of these lightweight ones. I'm not going to throw these light ones at Rayburn. I'm going to have heavier ones tied on because I'm fishing deep with it. But when I get around shallow rocks, sometimes these light ones with that smaller TRD worm will get bites when other things won't. And so I need to just get a few more of these, because again, you are going to lose them in rocks. Even though you're freeing them a bunch, you will lose them. All right, so the next thing in the bag, I've got, I forgot I had ordered a pack of these from Tackle Warehouse, which is, again, that heavy cover worm hook. I use this for bed fishing and for some light flipping. But I also got 2 packs of Gamakatsu 5/0 offset shank worm hooks. And I don't like an offset hook like this for a whole lot of things, but I do like this 5/0 one when I'm Carolina rigging that watermelon fluke. I talked about it in the last video, and I needed some more because I'm going to go through these either on guide trips or on that Toyota Series event coming up. You can never have too many. They did not have the 25 pack in stock, and that's usually what I get. And I carry these from size 2 to size 5, 5/0 in the boat at all times. But I needed some more of these, so again, stocking up while they had them in stock. And then the last thing in the bag from Tackle Addict, I got 2 packs of the KVD Mustad 1/0 triple grip hooks. Okay, that's kind of becoming one of those standards that people like throwing on a crankbait. And the reason I got these is I'm going to use these to replace some hooks on some of my 6XDs and 8XDs. And it's a little bit stouter hook. When fish get pinned, they get pinned hard. You don't lose them as bad on these. And so I needed a couple more in the bigger size. And I'm not going to put these on prior to the event. A lot of people like changing out their hooks before they get there, but I will keep these in a watertight Bass Mafia box, and that way I don't risk them getting rusted or ruining on a bait, and I'll just change it out as I need them. Because even in practice, I'm probably going to throw the stock hooks, and then when it's game day, I'll switch out the hooks on it. It doesn't take long. We have split ring pliers to change them out. So that was the bag from Tackle Addict. Now this box right here, I've been waiting on this one right here. This is more of like the secret swim bait that I throw. And it's got kind of a cult following at this point. People that know. And when I pull it out, you're gonna be like, that looks real familiar. And it is, because I'm gonna tell you right now, it is a knockoff of another swim bait that you can't get anymore. But it is the best knockoff I have found, and I catch a ton of fish fishing this in a certain way. And I've got a whole big bag of them right here, because I know the guy that makes them. I know they're going to do a bait drop here in the near future, so if you're interested in getting them, you're going to have to kind of follow along. Is they're going to go quick, because the guys that want them really want them. But that's it. It is called the Babe. And it is a knockoff of the Bass Pro swim bait that Steve Kennedy has made famous. And this is the best swimming one that I have found. And it gets bit. It has the right shimmy and roll to it, the right tail kick. You got to reel it kind of slow, but my number one way to fish it is I skip it underneath docks, count it down, a couple seconds, and then I just start slow rolling it using a Dobbin 795 SBMT swim bait rod. and I'll probably actually throw it on that new Tattooler reel that I got in the first video. But this bait, it's got a harness. You're able to tie it to the tip right there. I can add my split ring. Whenever they sell them, they come with a hook on there, but I get them, just raw like this. And they've got a few new colors, that he sent me. And this is called the Babe. I think it's 4F Fishing. But where's that new color at? Oh, this one. I'm excited about it because I think it looks really good. It's kind of more of this cream olive color, and I hope to throw this and get bit because it's one of those patterns that everywhere in the country I go now, if it's got docks, I am going to skip this under docks for a little bit in practice. Now, one thing I don't like, when they took the extra practice day away from us at the MLF Pro circuit, that eliminates kind of that one extra day where you can try stuff like this. But if you can get bit throwing something like this, they're usually the right fish in tournaments. And so I am going to try it for a little while. If it just gets followers, I'm looking for positive affirmation. If I get followers, it tells me, hey, there's fish on docks. But if I go run, a dock pattern, moving in and out, off of main lake docks or mid pocket docks or the backs of creek docks, I can usually figure out where these fish are positioned at. And in practice, I probably won't even have a hook on here. Or if I do, it's not gonna have barbs on it, just so it'll keel right when I run it. But when I do that, I'm basically looking in practice, I'm looking for fish to come out and follow it out of the dock. And then I can go back on tournament day and skip a Senko there, or if I can get them to commit on the Swimbait. So a lot of times I'm using it as a search bait, just looking for fish. And it's the perfect size of a blueback herring, and I can't wait to get there and throw it, and hopefully it's on. So I'm Clark Ream. This was part 2 of my pre-Lake Murray Sam Rayburn Toyota series what's in the bag videos. So if you like any of these things, let me know what you think. Comment down below. Be sure to subscribe to this channel as we're doing more of these what's in the box or what's in the bag, dispelling the myth that pro anglers get everything for free.